Here we have a new 2024 GMC Sierra 1500. Now this truck comes in the AT4 trim level in titanium rush metallic. And then we have jet black with Kalahari perforated leather interior. For the powertrain, we get a 6.2 liter naturally aspirated V8 engine. That's made it to a 10-speed automatic transmission. And I believe that puts out around 420 horsepower. But this pretty much carries over from last year for the most part. As we come around to the front end here, we do get our LED headlamps along with LED daytime running lights and LED fog lights. Sorry about the glare there. And the lights don't flash, that's just how my camera's picking them up, but love the front end styling. And I also love this kind of carbonized gray on the grill here. And just don't really see any black plastic popping out at you. I'm gonna have to dub that term, just call it plastic. But you don't see any of that popping out. It's right there, but it really doesn't stick out to you. But as we come around to the wheels here, these are 20-inch aluminum. And they have a name for it. It has gray inserts, but I'll show you that on the window sticker here momentarily. And we have these off-road oriented Goodyear Wrangler tires. Nice rugged side steps there. Passive keyless entry on the front two doors. Power door lock controls are here. Memory seats. To do those, just hit the number to recall or just set it up by hitting set and then holding the number you want to set it to, and it'll show you on the gauge cluster there. Now we do get one-touch automatic up and down windows for the front, express down for the back. Power folding side mirrors there with blind spot monitors. And then we can also adjust those either side, the actual glass, by hitting the side and then adjusting with the dial, and we can turn those on and off, which is nice. We have a premium Bose sound system, 2 bottle holders here, an electronic parking brake, press to engage, hit the brake, press it again to disengage. We have several drive modes, which include normal, sport, off-road, and then we also can click here for the tow haul mode, and then a full 4-wheel drive system, so we can set that to auto. We have 2-wheel, 4-wheel high, or 4-wheel low, and of course it'll tell you to put in a neutral when you put in the 4-wheel low. And then our headlamp controls are here. We can toggle those automatic low beams there, and then we can toggle the fog lights there. Hood release. We do get a power tilt and telescoping steering wheel, so we can adjust that there. And then here's our power driver's seat, and we get 2-way power lumbar as well. Love the Kalahari inserts. Just makes it look super premium, and I love that we have AT4 embossed in that headrest there. Now we're gonna check out the trailering info here. So max payload is 1452 pounds, conventional trailer is 8,900, and if for whatever reason you want to gooseneck it, max trailering for that is 6,600 pounds. So basically tows up to around 9,000 pounds if you ever need to do that, and that's straight from the manufacturer. But big shout out to Chevrolet Buick GMC of Murfreesboro for letting me review this truck today. I'll leave a link below in the description, and y'all can pause anywhere you need to. I kind of have to go over because of the glare, and this is lifted. I have to go over it slowly, so where the phone kind of hits the glass, that's the only place you can really see it, and you still got to look kind of close, so I apologize for that. And it's rush hour, so it's really loud where I am. But options are here, which include that 6.2 liter V8 technology package, AT4 premium package, and it shows you what comes on each one of those. And then we do have the active exhaust, which is nice with that 6.2 liter. Sticker price is $75,145. And this is supposed to get 15 miles per gallon city, 19 highway, and 16 combined based on the EPA estimates. But I have that seat up front adjusted for someone of my size, being 6'3", with longer legs. And as you can see, there's plenty of space here, like it pretty much is in every full-size GM product. Pretty much any full-size pickup truck I've been in, I haven't had an issue with legroom in the back seat. And then headroom is fantastic as well, because the roof curves up right there. And then we have seat back pockets, both sides, 3-stage heated outboard seats for the back, and then our rear AC vents are here. And then a USB-C, USB-A charge port. And you might be able to hear that whistling back here, rushing of wind, and that's because I have this cooled seat on the highest setting as of now. LED reading lights for the back is nice. And then we do have bottle holders in the middle seat here, along with the ones that we have up front. And then we have one in each door panel for the back. And And then this is crucial, so you can hang a heavier uniform or several work shirts or whatever, whether they're wire hangers or plastic hanger hooks. Now it is a step down with that extra 2 inches, I will say that. But to get to the underseat storage, just lift up there, and then it's on both sides. So either side kind of has a little latch, and then you can see where all the extra storage is. Definitely comes in handy. And then you even have the storage behind the seat as well. Now over here, fuel filler is not lockable. Premium's recommended just with this 6.2 liter V8, but not required, so you can run regular in it all day. But to the back end here, we get these LED tail lamps, which look fantastic. And then we get the integrated exhaust. Again, with this one being an active exhaust, I'm sure it's gonna sound pretty menacing when we take it out on the road, but spares underneath there. And then this top part folds down the multi-flex tailgate, but we're just gonna show the bottom. And then if you, for whatever reason, wanna go all the way down, just hit that top button. And then you can kind of step up in there. Even have a little handle there, so it's not as much work on you. And then the spray-on bed liner, which has the AT4 emblem there, and a 120 volt 3-prong household plug-in there for light charging like a laptop or maybe a phone charger. So I don't know if that's the right way to fold that up, but especially having one hand, that's how I fold it up when I do these videos. Now to the front passenger seat, we do have power adjustability like the driver's side, as well as a 2-way power lumbar support. And please excuse that glare. And then we have a lockable glove compartment here, decent size, especially since we get a top pocket as well. And I like how it's carpeted in there. That's a nice touch. Now we have the hood release, so we're gonna go back around to the front here and just take a quick look in the engine bay. You're not gonna see much, but there's a 6.2 liter V8 under all of that. But now let's go ahead and hop in the driver's seat. So we get a nice leather wrap steering wheel here. There's the horn. Over here to the radio, we have that 13.4 inch Google Assistant system, AM, FM, XM, along with Bluetooth, Google News, Google Podcasts, Amazon Alexa. We also get wireless CarPlay and Android Auto. And then we have the Google Maps system, which I love. It does have a subscription, but doesn't really bother me that much, because if you want to use it for a month, you can, and then you don't have to use it again if you don't go on another trip like that for 2 or 3 years. Having the wireless CarPlay, Android Auto definitely helps with having to pay an extra $500 for a navigation system though. So, because most of the time people get used to using their phone as a map anyway. So it's kind of just there if you want to, because it's, again, a very good system, but you don't have to use it. And then we can connect our phones pretty easily. Walks you right through it with step-by-step instructions. Now with this being an AT4X, we do have a full-on trailering package, so lights, cameras, checklist, and then weight. You can go through all that there. And then we also have the cameras, which I'll show you here in a minute. But we have dual zone automatic climate controls, which we can use from the screen here, or using these buttons and knobs down below, which include the 3-stage heated cool front seats. And then the side view here gives you a little taste of shortcuts you might want on the side, or if you don't want to look too busy, you can just have the clock there. Now for the cameras, we get quite a few. So there's the backup camera, front camera, we have the top down view there, curbside views, trailer hitch view, and then my favorite, the bed view camera. So if you have stuff in the back that might blow out or whatever, you can pull that up when you want to. And it's nice because you can just hit the camera's button. You don't have to actually have it in a certain gear or whatever. So it's always ready for you to do that. And then finally, our settings are in here. If you want to change your language, you just scroll down here to system, and you can change from English to French to Spanish. And then we also have the buckle to drive. I'll show that too. In the vehicle settings, along with the rear seat reminder and teen driver. So have the full suite of GM safety products there. And then before I forget, volume can be adjusted here. Click there for the mute, and then you can hit that as a home button if you don't always have to go to the screen. Now, lane keep assist with lane departures there, parking sensors, auto stop toggle, and then we have that folding tailgate, so we can fold it down from here. Hazards, traction control, and we do have that hill descent or downhill brake control right here. The USB-A and USB-C ports are integrated here, and I like that because you can run a shorter cable and then have your phone sitting there. And you have your bottle holders and trailer brake controller there. Now, with this newer interior with the AT4X and Denali's and whatnot, your push button start is right here. So a nice big button instead of having it right here. So that's why this was moved, along with a few other things kind of rearranged. Now for the 10-speed, like the shifter, hit the button on the side, pull down for drive, tap for the limiter, pull up for neutral, and then hit the button all the way up for reverse, press P for park. And when you're in that L mode, you can go ahead and use these paddle shifters, and it'll show you what gear you're in when you're in that mode there, right under the drive mode on the right side. Center console cubby space, pretty massive. You do get a wireless charging pad, 3-prong household plug-in to go with one in the back, a USB-C, USB-A duo there for charging, and then a removable tray and a nice big bright LED light there to see in the dark. A rear camera mirror is there, which you can toggle on or off there. Garage door transmitter. You do have a power sliding sunroof, which you can tilt or one-touch slide. And there that is when it's all the way back. I'll slide that back forward while I show off the back seat and that sliding rear window. And then back to the steering wheel. Windshield wipers are on the side. They're intermittent, so you have all the intermittent modes there, low, high, and then off there, one time there, front wiper fluid, and then your auto high beams can be toggled on the side there. And when your low beams are on, you can toggle those high beams there, and then you can flash here, or again, turn on those automatic high beams if you want those to do the work for you. Now behind the steering wheel on the left side, you can go through your track list or radio station presets. And then behind on the right side, you can toggle volume up or down. Now having the cruise control here, this is gonna be adaptive. So we can toggle that, cancel, adjust speed, adjust the gap for the adaptive cruise, as well as the forward collision alert. That heated steering wheel toggle is there. And then to this side, voice recognition, mute, and you can scroll through your gauge cluster using these two arrows and then the scroll bar in the middle. And you can kind of click this as an enter button if you ever need to. So quite a few different settings here. Now within the info setting, you can go to your info page options and turn certain things on or off. You can do it from the options menu as well, which I'll show you that in a minute. But I just like to show that off. And then in the options, we can change the display layout, the left side info, the right side info. I like to keep the right side showing my drive modes though, but you can change that if you choose to. And then your lower gauges, you can kind of toggle what's going on there too. And there's that second place to toggle your info page options, and then here in units you can go from US to metric, and then you got speed warning, heads up display, controls, all of that there. And speaking of which, for the heads up display, I'm gonna turn the brightness up here. That's where those controls are to move it, change the info, and then turn that brightness up. So if you look right there in the center, there is the heads up display. Info's changing there. It's not flashing. It's just how my camera's picking it up. I apologize for that. But again, that push button starts here, and then the key fob with remote starts right there. But next, we're gonna go ahead and take this GMC Sierra 1500 AT4 out on the road for a test drive. So starting the test drive in this AT4X, the 6.2 is just, it sounds so menacing. Especially with this active exhaust. I love the sound that you get all around here. But when you're not giving it throttle, it still feels luxurious in the cabin. Now the 10-speed likes to shift quite a bit, especially depending on what drive mode you're in. Now I'm gonna put it in a sport mode. I'm not gonna give it too much throttle, but I'm just gonna show it off with the paddle shifters. And with the active exhaust, this makes it even more fun to drive. I'm so glad no one's behind me, so I'm gonna give myself a little space. Then we're gonna put our foot down just a tad. And I mean, you really do get a rush when you're driving this because it just allows you to get so much down in terms of power output. Now it is rush hour, so people aren't paying attention to what they're doing and nobody wants to go, but I do have the adaptive cruise here, so that allows me to keep that safe distance between myself and the vehicle in front of me. You don't have super cruise on this one, but you can get super cruise if you choose to pay extra money for that. You do have the lane keeping system with lane departure, which is okay. It's no super cruise, but it kind of keeps you safe out here. But the active exhaust, it's pretty cool because it just almost silences the exhaust when you're not giving it hard throttle. And then when you're accelerating, you could kind of open her up, if you will. Now for this price point, 75 grand can feel kind of steep, but I mean, you're basically paying for an off-road oriented Sierra Denali. So not really a big deal there, I think, because that's kind of what stuff's going for around this price. Probably an F-150 Platinum, something like that's gonna run you something similar. But I do like that you get, first of all, this more refreshed interior, and then on top of that you also get the heated cooled seats, the adaptive cruise control, and just the elegance and fresh looks that you get from an upscale, even a base model GMC Sierra. And it does have more of a presence to it than you might, I shouldn't say you might expect, but it has more of a presence to it that comes with this price tag. And I mean, it feels more menacing. Now, obviously you get an AT4X and that's almost looks scary, but this kind of has the best of both worlds, I think. The luxuriousness of the Sierra Denali, but then the off-road ruggedness of, let's say, a Z71 truck or something like that. But all in all, I think this kind of hits everything out of the park for a luxury pickup truck, especially since they've redone the interior. And I think GM, that's one place where they were behind Ford and Ram, especially Ram, because in 2019, Ram pretty much changed the game, I think, with their infotainment system and just the overall looks of what a pickup truck could be. Having a bigger screen, having all of your fancy technology and whatnot. And GM, per usual, is late to the party, but they tend to be able to copy off of everyone else and then put their own little spin on it. So again, this is what was done here, having the digital display, having this Google Assistant screen here. So a pretty impressive truck. Now the AT4X is something that if you're wanting something that's basically the GMC variant of a ZR2 from the Silverados, that's what you're going to be looking for there, with the off-road bumper and all of that. But I think this will be pretty good for most people. The only place where that might have something on the interior is having those massage, I believe, 16-way seats in the AT4X as opposed to the 10-way seats in this standard AT4 here. But again, if you haven't had it before, you probably won't miss it unless you just want every bell and whistle that's available on a pickup. But with all that being said, this will bring me to the end of my review of this 2024 GMC Sierra 1500 AT4.